Now, of course, there are other benefits to owning a home, right? You build equity in the home, but the big opportunity cost there is any money that goes in to the home could be put in the stock market. And the stock market historically makes really good passive, totally passive return. As an example, let's say we have two people who both have $100,000 or a 20% down payment on a $500,000 home. So the guy who buys the $500,000 house pays $2,400 a month for his mortgage and $1,125 per month for everything else. So that's $3,525 per month, and he doesn't access his $100,000 anymore. Now let's say the renter can find a similar style house for $2,800 per month in rent. So that's $325 cheaper per month versus the homeowner. And then he could take his $100,000 and put it in a ETF paying 5% a year risk-free. So at the end of year one, the homeowner sunk an additional $37,500 into the home. He built about $4,000 in equity, and let's say the home value went up. So if it went up at 3%, which is pretty healthy, he made an additional 15 grand. So his on-paper gain is about $19,000. But also he has no cash. If he loses his job, if something happens, that's a pretty difficult position to be in. But also he's a lot more liquid. Now the other guy kind of threw away about $33,500 for rent. So he saved about $4,000 on the sunk cost, and his $100,000 risk-free increased by 5%. So he's netting about $8,900. So he made about $9,000 liquid versus the homeowner made about $19,000 on paper. And also there's a lot of transaction kind of costs associated with selling real estate. So there's a lot of friction there. If you do want to sell, then that $19,000 with real estate fees honestly just goes to zero. And also if the stock market went up, and also if you didn't put it in an ETF, or rather in the S&P, and it went up by 20%, you're now radically worse off having rented. And I think the comparison of those two people is roughly where I feel like I'm at, and I think where a lot of you are at if you're in kind of big urban areas. And the big point there is that the 5% rule is now the 7.5% plus rule. So owning a home is a lot more expensive nowadays.